Hello guys, welcome to this video. I am Az and I want to take a moment today to talk about what I think of as transition decks. Also, it's the same as saying I want to talk about my February practice. February for me has been all about these transition decks, so those decks that still hold on to the lingering chill and darkness of winter, but also begin to show the first signs of spring. So these are the decks that in my practice feel like they bridge the gap between seasons, carrying both the echoes of the cold, more introspective energy of winter and the first touches of warmth, color and renewal, hopefully, that come with the shifting of the seasons. So I have naturally gravitated towards this mix, like decks that still feel like deep, shadowy and a bit reflective. And I've paired this with others that already have something more floral, brighter, something with a sense of lightness. And so I've been navigating, like, I feel this space between some decks that have weight and maybe some, you know, the solemnity maybe of winter, while others carry like a sense of playfulness, a softness, reminiscent more of flowers, butterflies, and those first like luminous days where you start to feel like the season is turning. It's interesting to see how this shift happens in my practice, and without thinking too much about it, I naturally start reaching for decks that reflect what's happening in nature, in my surroundings, but also in my own inner state. So I want to share with you some of these decks, and that for me are bridging winter and spring. This is my February wrap up, and so let's dive in. So some of these combinations are newer to me, while others are ones that I found myself gravitating toward more naturally as the month unfolded. So the Burning Tiger Tower, for example, is quite new in my collection. It arrived in, I think, the end of January. So it's very recent, a very recent deck for me. And while the Seashell Oracle is one that I've been using almost every day for like daily pulls. So this pairing is for me, it can be called like a fiery depth with a gentle touch. Fiery is what I feel like is the element the Burning Tiger Tower brings, while the Seashell Oracle provides the gentle touch. And I've also used the Seashell Oracle on its own, as I was saying, for everyday draws. But I think these two together, overall, they counterbalance each other. Oh, these are two cards I left out. And I see here one of my favorite cards in the deck, the Seven of Pentacles. So I've been pairing these two, as I was saying, and they counterbalance each other because in the Burning Tiger Tower, like the art feels a little bit more raw, feels bold and visceral, which I love because it pushes me to confront the messages head on. But to balance this intensity, I think I've been pairing it with the Seashell Oracle because this Oracle, I think, brings in such a soft, nurturing energy. So it's like a gentle wave soothing the fire. Even though, and I mean, this is so good, the Ace of Cups with this card, and also sometimes the Burning Tiger brings in this like sea nautical theme. I don't know, but I mean, and the colors of these two, they match. They are a match, you know, they vibe, as I always say. Each card in the Seashell Oracle offers a phrase, or I would say more than a phrase, like keywords. Sorry for this noise, if you hear it, comes from outside, but that complements the tarot messages of the Burning Tiger so beautifully. And so the Seashell Oracle in this case, what I've been feeling, it has been softening a lot the intensity of the Burning Tiger Tarot. If I was looking, you know, for a softening, this is what the Seashell Oracle always provided, because I feel like this can be quite raw, as I was saying. And I've also been using the Seashell Oracle for daily draws, like pulling a card each morning and then seeing how the message resonated at the end of the day. So it's a simple but effective way to start the day with a little wisdom. Nothing too overwhelming, but it was interesting for the things that this oracle was pointing out. When I bring it into the readings instead with the Burning Tiger, it adds a layer of like emotional reflection, almost like it's like a cooling breeze after the tarot has made its bold statement or a bolder statement. This is how I have experienced these two, and I love how they look together. And I love the Six of Cups with the Lighthouse Keeper, guidance, solitude, and safety. So this is the Fire Depth with a Gentle Touch pairing for February. And I don't know if maybe you can see it better this way. I'm also using natural light to film today. I really love this light. The Two of Cups, oh, this is perfect to conquest love and sexuality. Wow, and the colors here are perfect. This is so perfect. They, as I was saying, they really go well together for the meanings, but also for the colors. I think we have something, we have a vibe here. I'm just flipping through these ones so you can appreciate the beauty. One more. Yes. But I also feel that sometimes the messages with these two, since they vibe so well, sometimes they were a little bit more mysterious, and maybe you had to really dig deeper to understand what they were trying to say. Sometimes I find this pairing to be very straightforward and direct. I don't think it's so difficult to understand. Four Cups, we have defense, vulnerability, and tenderness. Yeah. So if I wanted to add some complexity maybe to this pairing, I would pair other decks with the Burning Tiger to get my messages. And now I will show you. So for example, I've been pairing the Burning Tiger Tarot also with the Wild Unknown Archetypes. And this pairing, I will call it my cutting deep into the Psyche pairing, because for the nature, you know, of this deck, and I think not all the cards are here because I may have others left outside the box, but I think for the same nature, you know, of this deck of the Wild Unknown, this is the pocket edition Archetypes, this is a little bit more shadowy. And so another pairing I've been working with is this one. Now, this combination really depends on where I'm at emotionally, because the Wild Unknown Archetypes, as I was saying, for his own nature, I think it pairs so well with this one. For the colors, again, I think there's something, there is a vibe also between these two. But the Wild Unknown Archetypes for me is not a deck that holds back, you know? It's not... It has its way to cutting through, you know, the noise and getting straight to the core of things. Which means that sometimes, depending on my headspace, it can feel a bit harsher. While there is a softness to the, you know, to the Seashell Oracle, here, I mean, it's a little bit more cutting. There's something that cuts deep, you know, and I appreciate that. So the Wild Unknown doesn't sugarcoat. I think it can really call you out when it has to. It forces also me to see like the deeper layer in a situation. So it's not a light pairing. It's not like a pairing for every day. I've not been pairing. Oh, look how good they look together. I've not been pairing these two like every day, but every time I did it, there was something meaningful. There was some meaningful message for me. And sorry, but this is a round deck, so yeah, like here, this shapeshifter with the devil, two very ugly, unsettling faces. But yeah. Oh, and two number 15. So, I mean, when I was saying these two are a match. And for example, I also did a spread with these two decks the other day, and it was one of those readings that lingered in my mind long after I finished. For example, and now I will show you the cards. And we have the Four of Pentacles with the Sustainer. Yeah. So I just want to show you the spread I did the other day. For example, so I pulled, I don't know if 2 or 3 cards from the, like 2 from the Burning Tiger, and then 3 from the Wild Unknown Archetypes, because I wanted to pull 3. And here we can see the Six of Wands with the Queen of Swords, which I think represented me, the Lover, the Bridge, and the Storm in the Wild Unknown Archetypes. And this spread was so clear to me for what I was going through. Like, the Queen of Swords really represented me a few days ago. I wasn't really in this headspace, you know, to be like social, and I was a little bit retreating into myself, you know. And here the Wild Unknown Archetypes was pointing out that I needed, if I wanted to support, or if I wanted to reach this sense of victory or harmony with my lover, with my partner in this case, I needed to bridge the gap, because there is kind of a break here, or I was like, maybe I was, it's not that like I was, something was breaking, but I was retreating into myself a lot. The Queen of Swords can be also about solitude, and it's like the Widow card also sometimes, but it's just how I was feeling. But if I was willing to bridge the gap, you know, there is a rainbow here, and it could bring something, an opportunity, you know, to connect more. There was a specific situation where when I could really bridge the gap and repair something, like going towards the other, maybe restore a sense of victory, even though this Six of Wands can be, maybe is the saddest Six of Wands I've ever seen, because normally Six of Wands is about victory and triumph, and I cannot see that sense here, that feeling, you know, but this is meaningful too. So I don't want to make it this too long, you know, but it's just to tell you that I've found a lot of meaning into the, you know, when using this pairing. And so I feel like the Burning Tiger, when using this together, sets the stage with a sharp yet maybe poetic imagery, and while the Wild Unknown Archetypes here just drove the message, in this case, it drove the message home. So it's the kind of pairing that works well when I need real insight, when I'm ready to look at my shadow side, maybe when I'm feeling a little bit moody, or when I want to tap into something more profound with the help of archetypes too. So this is my second pairing, cutting deep into the psyche. And this deck also has collage aesthetic, but also a touch of vintage and cosmic vibes. So it pairs well with so many of my tarot decks, I think. Oops. Because it has a way of grounding messages while still keeping things intuitive and open-ended. Like, for example, here, look at the colors. We have Seven of Cups with the ocean and hope. Oh, wow. So we have the Lovers with Thanatos, Eros and Thanatos, and we have attachment. This is so cool. So I've used this alongside the Burning Tiger Tarot and the Wild Unknown Archetypes. And what I love is that each card has a keyword, so it's very straightforward. It is incredibly straightforward, right? So uncomplicated. And so you have a little bit of the touch of depth here with the Wild Unknown, and the cuts a little bit deeper, while the Cosmic Crossroads provides a more direct message. Also, the Burning Tiger Tarot has a hint of these spring vibes I was talking about in the intro. So it's a perfect deck for transition because it has a little bit also, especially with the backs, but it has hints of like lightness. I wouldn't say playfulness, but maybe there is playfulness in how it is crafted, but it is also a little bit I don't want to say shadowy, but still attached to that introspection of winter. The Wild Unknown Archetypes also, for me, it's a wintry feel deck, while the Cosmic Crossroads brings in the cosmic vibes, but also a little bit of flowers and rainbows. There are rainbows also here, like these rainbow colors in the backs. And we have Hermit with the shadow and wisdom. This is so perfect, right? And so these are transition decks for me. And also here sometimes we find like a black background, you know, and so it's still pretty dark, but at the same time also with the flowers, and we got a hint of spring, especially, let's see, here also the skies are sometimes brighter, and I think it's a transition combination, or is a combination perfect for this time, you know, this time of the year. This pairing isn't overly abstract or esoteric, I would say. Instead, I feel it gives you something clear to work with, especially with the addition of this one. While with the Wild Unknown Archetypes, personally, I have to use the guidebook every time. So it gives you a little bit more of work in this sense. I love also the color combination here, like the purples are the same and the blues. And so sometimes when the tarot reading feels like it's drifting a little bit into the realm of too many possibilities, like this one is a perfect clarifier deck. It gives you, as I was saying, something clear to work with, so it's great as a clarifier. So when I've been using this too, you know, and maybe there was like the need to clarify or simplify, look at the colors here, they are so perfect together. I mean, this one steps in like a signpost, like saying, hey, here's what you really need to focus on. And it really gives you, like, I don't want to say like the theme, but maybe it wraps everything together in a simpler way. And so this has been another combination I've been exploring during February. And since I like it and I like how these work together, I think I may continue to do it, especially for this transition energy I'm now diving in right before spring arrives, full spring, you know. there is a little bit of a hint of both the darkness of winter and the luminous energy that spring will soon bring, I hope. It's coming, you know, it's coming. And then you have cards like this, like sadness, but it's very colorful. And here we have the self that matches also the same rainbow colors. Yeah, with 4 cups. Sadness, the self, and 4 cups. Yeah, I really like these 3 together. One more, and then I will leave it here. Yes, let's move on. Now, the next combo I will call the self-care and nurturing messages one. And for this one, I have been using both my dirt gems, and I keep it in this bag, but this is the box. My dirt gems together with the this is mass market, but I guess there was also an indie edition of this one. I'm not sure, but I've seen a white one. This is the Clarity Tarot. Mine is black. This is the Clarity Tarot by Belle Sandler. I don't know how to pronounce it. A deck for creative visualization. This is quite peculiar. And I have also used together, and it's in this bag always, the Herbcrafter Tarot. So the Herbcrafter Tarot definitely brings in the spring vibe, right? This is a combination. I wasn't using the Clarity Tarot as much, and I've been using it more. I've been reviving this deck by using it. These are the bags, by the way, by using it with this combination. So the Clarity Tarot, as you can see, it's a black and white deck. Not sure if it was indie before being mass market, so I bought this version on Amazon, but I've seen it also being white with a white background and then and then the like black sketches. So I think this is a transitional combo, perfect transition combo. Here we have like the more introspective darkness of the Clarity Tarot, and then the Dirt Gems Oracle and the Herbcrafter bring that hint of color and vibrancy. So I've been using a lot this combination. This trio has been all about self-care, healing, and personal reflection. I think the blackness here of this one and the colors of these other two really counterbalance each other. Both the Clarity Tarot and the Dirt Gems make you work a little bit more, and also this one, I rely on the guidebooks. This can be also very intuitive to read, I have found out, and also the Clarity Tarot, it allows you to really work with your intuition even more, and also go a little bit beyond the traditional meanings of the cards in the tarot, and I really love that. I think all of these decks, what they have in common is really this, the fact that they are pushing you beyond your traditional associations, but also I rely on the guidebook for these two in particular because I want to know more about the herbs. But also the Clarity Tarot is very peculiar. The guidebook, let me show you, has like these whole entries for the majors, but then when it comes to the minors, it just has like a short, like poetry, and then you can find like a text. It's like a unified text. So for example, here are the cups is like a story with all the cards being part of a larger, like, I don't want to say story, but like a narrative, you know? And so it's very peculiar. And the guidebook is very interesting. So I can use also both the guidebook and also my intuition. And for example, here, like you see the Ace of Swords, like being an arrow. You can just, and here, yarrow, and another Ace of Swords. They also rhyme, right? Arrow and yarrow. Yes, it's very interesting. So, but you can use your intuition a lot when reading with this tree. And also sometimes the Dirt Gems has like black and white cards, and it's very interesting to see when this happens. It's very interesting to see that this gate seems to be the gate for this house, but yeah. Oh, so nice. It looks like nostalgia here. We have Six of Cups, maybe a nostalgia related to a house. Oh yes, definitely can be a message for me right now. Because I wanted to go back home this week and I couldn't. Because I have, like, I need to rest a little bit. And so I was a little bit sad about that. So it could be a message for me. By the way, what I love about this combination is how well these three decks speak to one another. What I feel is that I could also work only with the Dirt Gems and the Herbcrafter, but the clarity here has like a bit of this supportive approach. Like, I think you can get a lot also just by using these two together, but the Clarity Tower just provides that support, and the Herbcrafter always feel like a deep breath of fresh air. So while this still feels a little bit wintry to me, the herbs here that are a little bit more, brings that spring vibe, also feel like a nudge towards a self-awareness, but also they remind me to take care of myself, to slow down, because still is winter, and so I still need to, I'm still in that reflective space, and also to listen to what my body and mind need. So some of the messages that I got from these decks this month were exactly what I needed to hear, even when I didn't realize it at the time. So this is a trio that really works and that I've really loved. I think I will continue to use them. I will continue using, you know, these decks for the transition. Also in March, until spring definitely, you know, arrives and knocks at the door. I've also been using these decks with a fourth deck. So the next combination is actually a little bit different. I mean, I've not used the Herbcrafter with the next one, but I've used sometimes also the Clarity Tower that I will leave here, you know, not with the, yeah, let's change card. So I've used the Dirt Gems with other two decks, at least two, and I will call the next combination a Cosmic Conversation. So the next deck I've been pairing this one with is the Thoth Nebula. I have to thank Mundi because this is a deck created for personal use, only for myself, and to gift a few copies to my friends. So I have to thank Nova, who gave me the opportunity to have this deck. I'm currently learning. I mean, I still have to learn Thoth. I've never really been drawn to the cards, but I was drawn to this deck for the colors. I don't know if you can see. The colors are just the reverse colors of the normal Thoth, and I've been really loving this, and I was drawn to this one for the colors because, and maybe this one can be a bridge that helps me, you know, that draws me closer like to the Thoth, the traditional one. My Cosmic Conversation, Dirt Gems, Thoth Nebula, and then I've used, I think also the Clarity Tower may enter the picture. Like, they would look so well together, but actually I've used the Tower of Gemstones and Crystals. I'm not a fan of this box, but this is a new edition of a deck from the 90s. I don't know if 1991, I would have to check. You can still find the original one secondhand being sold maybe on eBay, or especially eBay. I have trimmed these cards because they come with, there are more borders, like, I don't know if you can see. And I thought I would have really loved the borders, but actually there were too many, and then they were distracting me from the card. I mean, they look nice, right? So I have trimmed mine, but then it was just an impulse. And And I like this smaller size. I still have to corner round them, but my corner rounder, as I moved last year, is still in some box. So for the moment, I keep it this way. I don't love the backs, by the way. The original one from the 90s has huge white borders, and the images, as you can see, of the crystals have been cut here a little bit, but I don't know, I like it. I think these three, as you can see, like to have a conversation. And I will zoom in a bit so you can see. So towards the end of February, I don't know if you look, I mean, the purples here really vibe together. So I found myself shifting towards a different energy, working with the Thoth and also the crystals, gemstones and crystals, or Oracolo, which is actually a tarot. And I've kept the names of the crystals here at the top. What I love about this combination is how well, also these decks, how well they speak to one another. I find that they really look cute together. Maybe strange, but the Thoth Nebula is this beautiful like reinterpretation of the Thoth system, not of the system, but of the colors. And for some reason, the colors, I mean, I like them this way. Also, this trio, like for some reason, it feels expansive. Like, it's almost like pulling messages from very different sources. Like we have the herbs, and then the Thoth, it is a tarot, you know, with a Thoth system, and then the crystals. It's like pulling messages from these like expansive sources. And also look at the colors here. We have the purple and the blues of the Thoth and the dirt gems, and then we have this more like reddish orange color of the crystals tarot and the actually gemstones and crystals tarot and the Thoth Nebula. So the gemstones and crystals oracle is a replica of the 90s deck, as I was saying, and it brings like, I think these borders have like this nostalgic hint, and it brings like more earthy grounding force together with the dirt gems too. So they both show elements that come from the earth. Look at the green here. I mean, they look so cute together, right? Also these two, I would say, they are such a good pairing. But I wanted to work a little bit with the crystal energy too. So these three create like an incredible dialogue, I feel, between the cosmic and the physical, making it a very powerful setup for readings. To explore both maybe the both spiritual growth, but also everyday reality. I found these ones to be very reliable for every day. And look how also this is a transitional combination for me, because also sometimes it can be either the dirt gems or the crystals tarot, you know, they bring like hints of colors, or can be the opposite, like with the Thoth Nebula in this case being more colorful, and these two being more like black and white, so still like a little bit attached to this winter, more introspective energy, more cold energy maybe, but then you have like the hints of very vibrant colors, either in the dirt gems, also the Thoth Nebula provides that. And sometimes also this one, you know, also the crystals, of course, they are very colorful, like in this case. So let's see, more black and white, and the color is provided by the other two. So one more, let's see, look at the blues and the purples. I really love this. Really love this. And I've been using also the little white book that comes with the Tarot of Gemstones and Crystals, and it's very nice because it goes into each crystal and it explains what they represent. and then it gives you a tower interpretation and also shadow aspect. So it's perfect also if you want to tap a little bit more into that shadowy aspect of each card, and it really works. I keep calling it an oracle sometimes because for me it almost works more like an oracle, so I tend to focus more on the meaning maybe of the crystal rather than the tower, but it is both, I think. This is my cosmic conversation combination for February. Let's move on to the last one. And so here it is, my, I would say like angelic combo with the influence of Angels Tarot, and this one is an Italian oracle composed of 36 cards, or Oracolo delle Gerarchie Angeliche. So it's like the oracle of angelic hierarchy. And this is my personal touch added to a mass market deck. So these are the backs. You don't find this oracle everywhere. You can only find it in a shop in Milan, and so oh sorry, I still have this one up. And so yes, you can only find it in Italy in this shop in Milan, as I was saying. And I went there one day because I was very curious about this shop, and I found this oracle, which is being created by the people who worked in this like tower shop and library. And so it is self-made, self-published, and I really love the backs. I have trimmed this deck actually. It comes with huge burgundy borders. It's very soft. It feels like a rose petal. It's very bendable. But I trimmed it because the cards were even more huge, and this one is the influence of angels. And so again, another combo for self-care based on angelic energy, something I haven't been working with for 4 years, I think. I'm not really into angels or anything. I just was curious about this one because the little white book, I don't know if it's little, but it goes into a little bit all the hierarchies and the not so much into each angel, but it provides some keywords also, as you can see. And so you can work with it just referring to the keywords. And there is also a sentence. It's in Italian here, but you also have a sentence on the card. And you could also have numbers. So even if you don't know the angels, the oracle is pretty straightforward in the sense that you have already something to work with here, right? Here we have the Ten of Cups with a card that seems to speak about being constructive, so I think it works. So you can only find this in a specific shop, as I was saying. I love that it's something unique to my collection. Also, I like the art that has been used. It's not always easy to understand, not easy to understand because it's easy to understand what he wants to say. It's not always easy or straightforward to interpret it in combination with other decks. I feel like, and it has not always been easy to relate, since there are also a few cards, I think it's 36, right? To relate these 36 like sentences of meanings to something that was going on in my life at that moment. But there have been moments of illumination, let's say. For example, here we have the Two of Cups with Don't Judge. It can be pretty straightforward, right? While sometimes other combinations are maybe less straightforward. But these two work together, you know. So I've been using this one for self-care, even though I think it may work. It's not the same self-care readings I got from the previous combination. These, especially using this oracle, I think there is a little bit of, I don't want to say ammunition, but maybe yes, sometimes. And this is like the third, at least the third card I have with the same representation, with the same art from different decks. But yeah, like for example, here we have, it sounds a little bit imperative, this oracle. This is what I want to say. You have the Ace of Wands with understand your mission. Yeah. It makes sense, you know, it makes sense. Like here we have the Empress, and this card has a softness, right? And here we have heal your wounds, which makes sense. Like the Empress is just taking care of yourself on many levels, emotionally, physically, so it makes sense. This is a self-care pairing. Just sometimes there is a little bit of an admonition in this oracle. For example, here we have the Seven of Swords with a person. Clearly, sometimes this is associated with like stealing something or being strategic, and here we have give back what is due. It makes sense, right? Like there's this angel here, like these ones watching you. Maybe you're doing something, it's time for you to give back maybe what you took, what you've taken, right? And so here we have the Four of Wands with be more generous, and we have the Six of Cups with be faithful. The only problem I see here is just that there are just a few cards in these oracles, but for the use I make of it, it's fine. Queen of Pentacles with value yourself. Knight of Wands will be combative. I mean, these are a match, you know? These are a match. Yeah. And I've done a reading with these last month in February. And I have kept the cards out actually to show you. I think I've used just an oracle for this, yes. I go beyond appearance, and we have the Three of Swords with the Hanged Man and the Queen of Swords. I don't know if it shows on camera, but let's see. And I've discovered that in this deck, the Queen of Swords is actually Mary Wollstonecraft. She was a proto-feminist in the 18th century, yes. I had no idea she was in there, and it was such a beautiful surprise to have her pop up in this reading as the Queen of Swords, as a writer and a teacher, because I am a teacher and I am sometimes a writer too. I hold her in such high esteem, and I even read excerpts from her works in my classroom because I'm a teacher. And finding her in this deck felt like a little nod from the universe, like reminding me of the power of knowledge and self-expression. And here, overall, this reading, I feel like was an invitation to go beyond something, using my intellect and knowledge, and maybe also shifting my perspective, going beyond something, or what was the appearance of something, or maybe something I was thinking or believing in. I think that was causing me maybe some pain or discomfort. And shifting this perspective, relying on my intellect, would allow me to see things from a different point of view. So you can see how this is not necessarily related to self-care. So I got also very interesting readings using this too, especially when pulling maybe more cards, more tarot cards to support the message, the main message given by the oracles. So these are the transition decks that shaped my readings throughout February. Each of these pairings brought something unique to the table for me, whether it was depth, softness, or cosmic insight, or grounding energy. So it's always fascinating to see how different decks interact and how they shift the way I engage with tarot and oracle readings. So I'd love to hear from you. Have you found any new combinations that really resonate this month? Let me know in the comments. Let me know about your practice, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment to this video. Also, for those interested, I offer personal readings on my website every day, sttarot.com. I really hope to see you soon in another video. Thank you for being here, for sharing this space with me, and for exploring the world of tarot and oracle together. See you in the next video. Bye bye.